My relationship with Attack on Titan isn't something that's well publicized on this channel, but I've been watching, and I did watch the finale. I began the show when season one was already on Netflix, so I kind of got a chance to binge that in 1 week. Got very invested in it. Years passed without me watching it, and I mean years, right? So then I got into season two and season three all in like the same week again, binging. It was fun. Season four is where I kind of watched every week, got along with Perp Minded, and you can watch if you just search Attack on Titan on my YouTube channel. You can see me and Perp as well as others talking about this show 33 Burning Questions style. I want to say thanks to K Dot because K Dot knew the ending and would never reveal to me. No matter how many streams we did, he would always keep things hush hush, and it was a pleasant surprise. So this episode was the part two of special of this finale version X. It was different, but it was an hour and 24 minutes. Just looking at the time and seeing what we got, knowing that these are adaptations of manga, too long. It was too long because there were so many twists that it would have better served each of these monumental moments. Like Falco can fly, he flies now. There could have been a lot of emphasis and attention on those moments if they would have maybe gave us, I don't know, 3 episodes, because they divided it into chapters, right? If they just made this like a 3 week finale and given us that big hour 24, maybe not the right idea. Maybe if you could split this into 2 parts, that'd be a better decision. That's just me. That's just how I think about the reveal. Because we were not. I'm gonna try to give everything credit, but I'm not gonna. But I know if we didn't get the second half of this show, I would have been able to talk about more of the things that already happened from the beginning of the show. Falco flies. The Eldians and the Marleyans are still warring with each other, which I was so pissed at them because dude was just, dude, the guy who's in charge of the military. Dude, he was just on the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we hate. This was from the last episode. We hate so much, but that monster coming back is our hatred getting back to us. If we get a second chance, we shouldn't be hateful. Blah blah blah. I was like, oh great, that was last 2 years, in the beginning of the finale. But then this episode that we all got to see, man, they're still at each other's necks and they're mad at each other. The guy who was the conductor on the train, who was a Marleyan, was like not willing to stand up with the Eldians. None of they're cool actually. They were pretty hospitable, and not hostile. None of that. It was so annoying. But yes, he does fire a gun into the air, and I guess that made everyone kind of agree to play on the same teams. Man, humanity's at the end, and you're still fighting each other over that stuff. I guess that's the lesson that the creator of the show was trying to give us. Like, sometimes it's just hopeless. Sometimes people are gonna be the way that they're gonna be. It doesn't mean you don't stop and you don't, or rather, you don't persist. The big fight happened on that monstrous Titan. And remember, ODM gear needs to hook up to like trees, buildings. Those are a great place for the fighting. And that rib cage offered for that. What can I say? Pretty sweet. The Armin and the Eren thing, when they went into the past, and then he got to see Zeke was there also, and not the past, but it was like some sort of weird web. This is the web that connects everybody. That's how they got some Titans from the past who were dead to return to real life. Every finale needs that. Everyone needs the final to have all the old characters that we remembered. Oh look, but not Peak, Palco, Porco. What was his name? Galliard. The one that Ymir was before. Ymir was this other guy, Porco. All those guys were back. Bertold was back, and I jumped over Peak. Peak was an amazing fighter. You think people just ride on me? No, they can break me. I'm just gonna transform 100 times. But man, what's the point of transforming 100 times if there's a million enemies? Which there wasn't. In the last 2,000 years, if the Titan is born every 13 years, do the math. And there's like 7 different Titan forms. Do the math. It wasn't a million. I'm just saying, like, it was a good line. What Peak was trying to say to us during that moment. The final fighting with all the animals and all the beasts and even the unique one that they just made up. That thing already knew the name of what it was called. It looked like a beast Titan. It could have been a jaw Titan, and it might also have been had like a different Titans. I forget which was the third one, but it was like many Titans in one. It was very weird. Warhammer Titan is amazing, man. Warhammer Titan is so scary. the Colossus, not Colossus, but the what's Reiner's Titan. Reiner's Titan and his fighting, I think he might have been the MVP of this entire final fight. It was emotion. There was a couple of ups and downs where I thought everyone was gonna die. There was enough times I thought Comey was gonna die. Reiner was almost on the way out, but it was a good twist, and that's what I mean. Like we could have laid on some of those for a whole episode, and it would have been enough roller coaster for an episode. Connie, Jean, and Reiner having their little moment. That's cool. Jean isn't the best character, but we get him in enough doses where he served his purpose, man. He's not Armin. He's not Mikasa. Who Mikasa had to deal the final blow. Before I get to that one, let's give it to Levi. Levi's fighting was okay. He was not 100%. He wasn't willing to go into that thing. Peak was. Levi was. It's unfortunate how unsatisfied I was that Levi got to slice off Zeke. Hey, over here, you're gonna kill me, and he just went in for a big swipe. You were not gonna beat what he did in season 3. When the Beast Titan was there and he's having a flashback when he was talking to Reiner and Bertold. You gotta watch out for Levi. Remember that moment? Everyone remembers that moment. It was an amazing moment. So you were not gonna beat that. I guess that's why the swift kill, even though Levi had his injuries. So okay, not the greatest moment. If people are unsatisfied with that, I would understand why. Finales are really hard to do. People are going to be unsatisfied. This isn't how they envisioned it ending, with Eren having his big plan. That Mikasa does slice off his head. Mikasa takes that head. She's going to bury it on a tree. It's where he had his memories, where he used to sleep on the tree all the time. And because of his founding Titan abilities and his power to like rewind time, I guess, he said something like, time is weird for me. I don't know, it's bizarre. That little creature, that spinal tree creature that they have, the ecto creature thing, is weird, but I think it's gone. We got to see it in its final form. It was huge, and Reiner was holding it back, but I think it's gone now forever, even though Mikasa did bury him on his tree because she had to bury him now. She had to go and bury him, or else no one else would took the time. She put him in that tree. I think it's gone. I'll get to something at the ending. I think you all know what. The time travel stuff, where we learn throughout this entire saga, Eren was speaking to Armin about the plans. Little moments like I hope Mikasa doesn't move on, and then Armin boxed him like, well, how could you say such a thing? He's like, oh, but she can only love me, and he's like, nah, that's so pathetic. I agreed. The little moments that he had, he mind wiped every single time. Eren was like, this is an inevitability. I couldn't handle it. And I am still Team Eren after all of this, man. And especially after seeing the Marleyans and the Eldians still fighting even after this whole thing. What Eren did, he removed the Titan powers, so that's a good thing. He thinks he did, at least. Eren was a protagonist the world created. Like, it's complicated. Do you guys think that Eren is a bad guy? That's the question I'll leave this video on. But the last thing I wanted to bring up was how nobody has any superpowers, no Titan powers, and they all believed him. But since war continues, we got a flash forward into 3 years, and then we got credits. And remember in the credits, you saw somebody who had a dog, and that kid went to the tree, the same tree where the tombstone was for Eren. Well, how did Ymir get powers? She's the same thing. She was a kid. She went to a tree. She found out that she could get, she got hooked by that little spinal thing. What if this is Defend on Titans? The next saga, that kid with the dog is going to be attached by that spinal thing. And there you go. I don't know how old some of our regular cast are going to be. And maybe like Legend of Korra, where most of them are alive, but they're all in their 80s and 90s. Maybe they'll be younger than that. But I'd like to see a return of Armin, Mikasa, and some of these guys continue. And that's what I mean when I was talking about K-Dot not spoiling for me. I hope this doesn't end. I hope we continue this. Not the way Digimon kind of make Tamers and Frontier, but I mean the way they made Digimon Adventure 2. That's what I would like more for all my anime fans who understand that reference. So I'm not done with this. Let's continue this franchise into the future. Find another creative thing. Take some time, think it out through, plot it, because we know that they put a lot of thought into Attack on Titan, the first 4 seasons of it, and all the manga he was writing. The stuff about the tea and the coffee, remember? If you don't remember, who cares? But think about it. Create your characters who are going to be lovable. Who's going to be your new Sasha? Who's going to be your new Gabby? Eren Yeager. I'm chill. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being interested. And like the video.